Did you know tinfoil was created back in the 18th century, but after World War II, they actually replaced it with aluminium foil? What we commonly refer to as tinfoil, at least I do, it's actually aluminium foil. And just as a side note, I do pronounce it aluminium. I didn't grow up in the US, so if you're American, even though I do live here, I still haven't gotten used to saying aluminum, but let me know in the comments below which pronunciation you think is correct. But why do I mention this? Because the shoe I'm reviewing today does remind me of tinfoil Jordan 1s, or aluminium Jordan 1s. And you might think, a shoe that reminds me of foil, I would just absolutely hate it. It would just be a stupid idea. But I kind of like how outrageous it is. Air Jordan 1 Chrome. Now the shoe is dropping on April 10th for $180. This is a woman's exclusive, and I'm not sure if this shoe is going to come in extended sizing. Once I find out more, I'll pin it to the comments below. Now this type of aesthetic isn't actually new for Jordan Brand. They've done it on the Jordan 1 lows as well as the mid and the Jordan 1 Concept Japan Tokyo that released in 2001 originally. Only 2001 pairs back in the day released. In 2020 they brought it back. However, this shoe is the most I've taken it. They've made the entire upper sole just this type of look, this type of tinfoil, aluminium foil look, or what they call chrome. So this is the furthest they've gone. And first impressions of this shoe. So in a vacuum, I don't love the colorway. Like, I just don't think this is something I would wear. It's so bold, it's so out there, just very, very loud. But I do kind of like how crazy it is. I do kind of like how they just went all the way. They didn't break it up with any like gray on the mid panel like you see on the Tokyo Concept Japan Jordan 1s. Just straight foil, just straight chrome or metallic silver, whatever you want to call it. I appreciate it. It's outrageous, but yeah, it's not something I would ever wear. And the materials on the shoe, it is actually leather. And you can see the crinkled or cracked kind of texture and aesthetic all over the shoe. I think they overdid it by a little bit. That's a bit too much. I do wonder what it would look like if it was just like a smooth foil looking shoe. So if they just went very smooth, maybe that'll actually look pretty cool and better than this. And when you immediately press down, you do feel like that layer or that foil, and it doesn't feel like super soft. And part of me does wonder how this shoe would look with like actual creases, not like just this cracked and crinkled look. It obviously shines and reflects a lot. It's super reflective. You can probably see it like on the camera. Yeah, just a very unique shoe. And then moving on to the tongue, it's a pretty standard Jordan 1 nylon tongue with a very subtle Nike Air tag at the very top. I think that looks pretty nice. And the laces, it's kind of got this off-white look to it. Not exactly pearly white. It's like sail. And the shoe does come with one extra set of laces in this gray kind of silver color. I think that actually looks pretty nice on the shoe. Out of the two, I don't think there's a clear winner. I think both work pretty well, but I think I'd probably go with that more subtle type of silver gray color that comes with the extra laces. I do like that, but everything about it is pretty standard. Apart from the Wings logo, usually on Jordan 1s, on general releases, you'll see like a debossed Wings logo. This one, it's got this plated silver look over it. That looks pretty nice. It's probably just plastic, but just the way it looks, that aesthetic, I think that looks pretty cool. And the Jordan 1s has a rubber cup sole with a Nike Air unit on the heel. And this cup sole, it is sail. They couldn't help themselves. They had to stick sail on this shoe. Not exactly sure why. I think white would have looked better for this shoe specifically, but sail it is. And the translucent rubber outsole, I think it looks pretty nice. That looks pretty cool with the shoe as well. And just fun fact, if you didn't know, this pattern actually emerged from the Air Force 1s. This concentric circle pattern. Back in the day, the Air Force 1s was meant for basketball players. Basketball players had to pivot a lot, so this traction was meant to make it easier for players to pivot. And the insole of the shoe, just a generic Air Jordan 1 insole, not a Dreamcell insole, not a polyurethane foam midsole, just cheap and exactly what you would expect. And the box of the shoe, staying on theme, this reflective silver kind of foil look, and just a standard Jordan 1 Nike box. Honestly, I kind of wish the paper inside was foil. And now in terms of sizing and comfort, this is just a Jordan 1, even though it's a women's exclusive. I stick true to size for Jordan 1s, whether it's men's or women's. I think it fits my wide feet pretty well. So whether or not you have wide feet, I do recommend just sticking true to size. Now in terms of comfort, the shoe is not as soft out of the box anyway, just out of the box before you break it in. It's not as soft as some other very soft Jordan 1s, especially like women's exclusives lately. They've been pretty soft leather. So this shoe is not as soft as that, but overall comfort wise, just a general Jordan 1, not the most comfortable shoe. still feel pretty flat to the ground, which is how Michael Jordan actually wanted it back in 1984. I will say what I've always liked about the Jordan 1 is the padding around the ankle collar. It's very sufficient. It's slightly more padded than like the Jordan 1 Low. It's not like the heaviest shoe, but it still kind of feels clunky. But for like average casual use, there's not really much to complain about. People don't get the Jordan 1s because they're like, this is gonna be a very comfortable shoe. And that brings the total sole score of the Jordan 1 Chrome to 23 out of 40. Pretty average to low score compared to other general releases. Now first it is colorway. Like I said before, I'm not like a huge fan of the colorway. I wouldn't wear it myself. I don't think I could pull it off. But I will say I like the chance and kind of the swing they took. Something different, just how outrageous it is. I appreciate it. I don't hate the colorway. I think the Plated Wings logo is actually pretty cool. But overall, it's just not a colorway that I would wear. And in terms of the materials, a bit harder to tell on the shoe. You can feel it is leather, but obviously it's got that foil aesthetic over it. But it does feel like kind of artificial, as you can probably imagine. So just keep that in mind. Now in terms of the comfort, it's a Jordan 1, not much to say there. Pretty general and average when you compare it to shoes like the Jordan 3s, 5s, 12s, 13s, 11s, 14s. Any of the later Jordans I think are much more comfortable than this. And you expect it. This is a very, very old shoe with very old technology with a rubber cup sole and just one Nike Air unit on the heel. But like I said before, you're not really getting this shoe for the comfort. And in terms of the versatility, it's kind of hard because the Jordan 1s are just super wearable, as in the shape of the shoe itself. But the colorway, you gotta be different to pull this thing off. You really do. Like, this is super bold, super loud. I can't pull it off. I would feel self-conscious as well, just wearing this around. It is a lot. So even though the Jordan 1s are a very, very wearable silhouette, this colorway objectively, not so much. The Jordan 1 Chrome is not something I would wear personally, but doesn't mean it's a bad shoe. Doesn't mean if you like it, you're wrong. Everyone's got their own taste. I just don't think I can pull this off effectively. But the more I look at it, the more secretly appreciative of how outrageous it is. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 1 Chrome. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.